I actually rather enjoyed this episode. I didn't agree with everything they did. I think some stuff was pretty dumb, but overall, I actually commend them.
I think I land where you land.
Cool, because I'm like the big stop jumping around, let me sit with a character. So they were like, you know what, Daniel? You get an hour of just Rhaenyra. It was probably the most I've been drawn in, and it felt like it went the quickest.
Yep.
Again, people always go, oh, what if it's just talking? Just talking, but good.
Yeah, it felt like those earlier episodes, my ideal version of this would have been like just adapt Fire and Blood starting after Aegon's conquest, after Aegon dies, and just do like a Crown type show where it's like arcs. And they were kind of doing that in season 1. Each episode kind of had a different focus.
Yeah, we definitely stuck with young Rhaenyra, probably more than we ever stuck with old Rhaenyra.
Exactly. So now it feels like now we've finally got her in the chair. They actually feel like they can actually do stuff with her.
She has stuff to do as well.
It's one of these things where it's like, I don't want to complain about getting the thing that I wanted. Like, because then that's just like, we can't please you. But because we haven't set her up well throughout, really adult Rhaenyra, like we say season 2, but almost wholly adult Rhaenyra hasn't been set up properly, that when now she's actually making choices and doing things, it doesn't feel that impactful to me as an audience member, because she was sort of not doing much last season.
And further, like, yes, that exactly, but further to that, we kind of haven't seen the running of King's Landing in general. So now that we're like, by the way, everything's fallen apart, we're like, how was it doing it before? Like, that's kind of a few of the things I don't love. But we actually do get to talk about book today, because instead of being completely off book like the last few like episodes, we're actually kind of like inverse, I believe, is what I've been told. Is like some of the decisions she makes this episode are exactly the opposite of things book Rhaenyra was said to do by the sources.
I mean, yeah, the source argument's annoying, because at one point it felt like they were going that the book's canon, but this is the true story, and the book's going to be the kind of twisted version of history and how these people are remembered. But then they have flown in the face of things that even history bookkeepers would surely know that that wasn't the case. So whenever a royal decree happens, I have to trust in world that that's what happened.
Things that there's a paper trail
Somebody
for.
would have took note of that royal decree.
Yeah.
The big thing is that Rhaenyra was taxing merchants and small folk when she landed because Thailanders took the money away.
Yes, but the episode title for this one is Rhaenyra the Lefty.
Yeah, so now it's like, no, we're going to tax the rich, give to the poor, and we have probably my least favourite scene of her giving the bread to the townsfolk.
Oh, God. I thought you were going to say the serving the dinner. And I was like, I wasn't actually mad at the serving of the dinner.
No, I wasn't mad at serving of the dinner.
It felt earned. It was like, this is something Rhaenyra the Left would do. Like, this is great. But yes, her working the food drive.
With her Master of Whispers.
Yeah.
Famously, a role that is open. It's me, the Master of Whispers.
Yes.
You know, in the book, she wasn't ever officially called the Master of Whispers. She was Mistress of Whispers. She was doing the role without the title.
I know that technically Varys is like a later version of her, but because Game of Thrones came first in our world, it definitely feels like we need a Varys character. Come on, chuck one in there. But let's go through it. We'll go from the very beginning. We do open on Daemon absolutely being a Chad and just being like, nice 10,000 men you've got there. Shame I've got 3 gigantic dragons.
Yeah.
I also enjoy the framing of it. They show Caraxes and Silverwing. Like, that's pretty impressive. Then they pan slide to the left and they're like, oh, also the bigger dragons here too, Vermithor.
Ormund Hightower. Ormund, who's now probably learned that the note was an impersonation. And it's like, hey, war's over. It's not going to go well for you. Bend the knee and give over Daeron.
I do like the character. He comes across as clever.
Well, Daemon has to do it in that classic, like, oh, before I forget, silly me, you're going to have to hand over Daeron. And I'm pretty sure when fake Daeron is walking out that his dragon, I think they have the dragon, like, look slightly confused, like, who the fuck's that? That's not my rider.
I was wondering, because we had already figured out that it was going to be fake Daeron. From the wide, I was trying to see if he was on top of Tessarion, because there was a dragon guard guy.
I half expected him to just be there anyway, as like just as the squire who's with his lord, and it's like that's the joke, is that he was there the whole time.
Yeah, and then like for people that didn't pick up on it, you do like the rack focus from one to the other, and then like ooh, but they really don't allude to it at all, to be honest.
If you're not like me who's been paying attention to like casting lists, you wouldn't know. But since I know that actor is well known and there he is, my question is, because this blonde lad obviously reveals that he was dyed blonde.
Blanched.
Why didn't you do that to her kids? Like,
just every day.
Just every day, just do that.
The same way Alan's constantly like shaving his blonde head.
I was like, Yeah, shut up. Yeah, she probably should have actually.
Yeah.
But whatever. So now my question is if Daeron has had his hair dyed brown or if he's naturally a brunette like his mum.
Well, that could be the thing of like, is that why Alicent immediate was like, that's not my son? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell? It's also interesting that they didn't drag it on because the point of this is to get Ormund into Tumbleton, where Hugh's wife is. They do allude to it a little bit heavy-handedly at the very end. Basically, the Dragon Keeper's like, you could burn him, but you'll also burn your own men. And that's very much like the wars we've got. It's like, oh, if they're in the home with the woman and the children, you can't really bomb them from above with your giant dragon. So it's like, fair enough, it's a smart idea from Ormund. We don't know his end game. I think the next time on says, I'm here to put the throne back right.
He wants to put Aegon back.
Yeah, he wants another Hightower,
he's
basically.
got Daeron there, so if he needs to, throw Daeron on there.
Yeah, true, actually, yes. That would be why he said in the last episode,
One king is as good as another.
because he's like, I've got one that I raised.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that must be his plan. Because in so many ways, Daeron would probably be more his lad.
Because he's currently the richest man in the world.
Yeah, because Corlys has lost everything now, not including Lannisters. Or, as we see Dan Fogler, House Manderly, they're pretty rich. They're the richest house in the north.
The Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them
I couldn't believe.
guy.
I was like, why are you here? And then I patiently listened to like, what's his English accent sounding like? Sounding more like a Frasier, like posh American to me.
Yeah.
But that's because I know he's American, but we'll get to him. He was the most Manderly looking Manderly ever, and I was very pleased.
Well, that's good then.
Very pleased.
Once Daemon takes fake Daeron, we are pretty much locked into Rhaenyra for the rest of the episode. You're not fit to rule on the throne if you get cut by the throne, like if the throne makes you bleed, but that she got a period. And I'm like, I kind of like that idea.
I preferred the idea of her, like, she grips it or something, that, like, she...
And it cuts her. You'd rather that. I mean, I like the idea of it.
Her intensity.
It definitely was, at the risk of sounding like a man on the internet, it was a woman written by a woman about how hard it is to be a woman in charge, I guess, because everything's coming at her. It is in a good way, but they definitely focus on the fact that she is a woman a lot.
Yes.
Will you blame me only for what men have done?
She finally got on the chair, the thing she wanted, but hey, turns out, which is George's whole point, that just because you sit on the chair doesn't mean it's not Aragorn. It's not and she ruled wise and well. It's like there's practical things we have to deal with. And the first problem is that Orwyle, who should be in the fucking dungeons, traitorous Orwyle, is going, Thailand's took the money. And Corlys like, yeah, you've got like a week or two. And I guess that's why they've went to the effort to destroy Corlys's place, because I guess Corlys would then front her the cash.
Get rid of all her access to money.
Just get rid of Corlys's assets.
Yeah, because we never knew how much she had on Dragonstone, but she didn't have people really living on Dragonstone, whereas Corlys had a whole town.
Well, that's what kind of bothered me, where it's like, we'll get to it, because the construction of the episode, as we both said, I quite like. There was just things in it that I didn't like.
Yes.
But I think of the 3 episodes, I liked this one the most.
I definitely did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a few people got annoyed, but even Sarah was like, oh, so this was like episode 1 of, like, it would have been episode 1. I said, yeah.
That's the joke, but this definitely was episode 1.
Yeah.
Because you're using Rhaenyra as a vehicle to introduce everyone else and what they want. You get her walking around, she meets the Master of Whispers, and she's like, hey, I want this. And then she goes to Daemon, and Daemon's like, we need to fuck shit up. But she goes to Corlys. It's not much of a small council. She doesn't have a small council. But Corlys says, we don't have anything in the treasury. We don't have any subscribe buttons. So if you can all press your subscribe buttons to give to the cause, that would be lovely.
That'd be great. Yeah, a few donations too, because our funds also.
The funds for the coffers.
The funds for the Bergenbeer coffers. Tea doesn't pay for itself.
We've been very positive. Give us an annoyance.
In the book, she has her Black Council be her council, because they've been her council.
Although her Black Council has always been dicks and have never done what she said.
She has Maester Travardis, the Maester that she has. She's like, he's going to be my Maester, because he's like, fuck that guy. So we're going to have, so Orwyle sits in the dungeon the whole time. Now.
Yeah, okay.
Then her Maester's the Maester. Celtigar's here. So I was like, yeah, if you're struggling for councils,
You've had one.
bring in those council members.
It is weird, but I guess in the show itself, the current Maester hasn't done anything wrong, and he's always been like, please, guys, we have to be good.
Because Maesters are serving the Master of the Red Keep. I remember they said, I serve the Master of Winterfell, so I'm politically unaligned.
Yes, they're meant to be third party.
She's got no money. She's stressing. And then she goes and has... I honestly thought it was a pretty bad scene with Alicent and Helaena.
Yes.
I didn't like it.
That's the stuff I disagree with, because...
Rhaenyra is kind of seeking the approval of her prisoner.
Alicent has accepted her father has been killed, but then we have killer lines when Helaena goes...
Did it make you feel better about losing Jace?
I like that from Helaena because it's kind of like, if I kill someone, I feel better about my son?
But then
But also we haven't seen...
she wants to raise chickens and not worry about, like, her dragon, which is, like, the third biggest one around at this point. It's not even been mentioned. They could have flew away on the dragon last week.
Someone in the comments brought up that, and I was like, you're right. We joked about her dragon, but we never remembered, like, that dragon's nearby.
Yeah, we haven't properly seen Dreamfire. Just thinking, like, you're trying to escape your daughter and she's got a big ball of dragon, maybe escape on the dragon. But I don't know. So Rhaenyra has such killer lines like, if I could kill Aegon like we agreed upon... Like, it's such an inconvenience. You won't let me kill my brother.
Yeah, it was like a bitchy spur line back to Alicent.
And then Alicent says, like, you're going to blame me for what men have done?
Hated that one.
Mate.
Will you blame me only for what men have done?
Yeah.
You were meant to be in on this. Because then later on, it's like, you were basically ruling this in everything but name. But it's like, no, she can't be both.
Yeah, those two are in massive opposition to me
Yeah.
and actually drove me crazy. Like, each by themselves, it's fine. But because they said you're going to blame me for what men did, you can no longer have Alicent being, like, a guide to Rhaenyra on how to rule. Because Rhaenyra's never ruled. There were some people that were saying, like, she was raised to rule. Her father always wanted to rule. But we never saw any of that. She was basically Aegon in the way that no one ever taught her to rule.
And that was kind of the problems of Viserys, is that he didn't make those hard. No, she's the heir. She's going to be my hand. She's going to learn.
Yeah, because he didn't think he would die either. So, like, there's plenty of time for
He just
that.
wanted everyone to get on. Yeah, exactly.
And that way you could have had something really interesting where Alicent does actually know how to rule. It would give Rhaenyra a reason not to kill her. Be like, oh shit, your idea worked.
You know the relationships. You know
maybe I should actually listen to you.
So how did that work for the better part of 10 years? They all had these council meetings and then what? They went, okay, well, Alicent, how about you go ahead and we'll just hang back a bit in the council room, and then they would discuss their plotting.
Yes.
It's like as if she wouldn't know.
They hated me from the start, resented my influence, my mere presence. My own father kept their plot from me.
Is that so?
Even though she had links with Larys because she was giving him feet stuff.
Yeah, but she was also the one ruling.
So she's both the cleverest political player, but also, coincidentally, she wanted her son to be in charge, but no one went, hey, you want your son to be in charge? We're working on that right now.
We're going to actually do that. That's clever.
Like her own dad was like, oh, you never guess what, we're applying this anyway. Well, it's stupid. And it's something that we've dealt with before, but it does harm this now. Alicent is not trying to achieve anything right now.
Yes, but I do like the actress and the way she's able to channel this anger.
Everyone
that she
likes
has.
Olivia Cook. That's not a
But she has the angry fire now, and she can be a spiteful bitch because she's seemingly immune to like death. She's gonna have fun for the rest of the season, is what I'm saying.
I mean, I liked the idea that Rhaenyra was going to her. I wish it was more of an antagonistic thing rather than like awkward friends. Like, yes, I do. I think it would have been much more interesting that way, where it's like she has to admit that Alicent knows the day in, day out stuff. But then I would argue she has been managing Dragonstone for years. Corlys is a respected leader and has managed all of his stuff. So surely we could figure this out.
Yeah. They've probably made it too stressful, but again, it gave the episode some good fire that she was going through so many things. Interestingly, this episode did remind me, specifically with Rhaenyra, of The Great, with Elle Fanning. Because running
She'd be
around
a great
being
Targaryen.
overly optimistic.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra is constantly like, oh, I'll just do this. In The Great, you should watch it. It's really good. She's always very optimistic, and everything goes wrong because like the world doesn't work the way she wants it to.
Yeah.
And everything falls apart because she expects people to be the best. Rhaenyra is doing that in this episode.
Yes. Agreed.
It was interesting that, she's running around flustered constantly being like, oh, we can just do this. Like, this will solve this problem. This will solve this problem. But those damn men keep holding her down.
Yeah.
Oh, this High Septon.
Great actor, by the way. I love when you get these random guys come in, like maybe he's a known actor, but he sounded great. I thought did a good job, and I liked that scene. I thought it was really good. Yeah, I have to imagine he's the High Septon. I mean, she did say thanks for getting here so quickly.
Yep.
We'll just ignore the fact that the High Septon would be in Old Town at this point, but whatever.
But he got there very quickly, and that's fine. They did a line.
Maybe he was still in town. It's only been a few weeks.
True.
So maybe he just hung around for a bit. Then she goes, yeah, look, he's dead, so I'm in charge, right? He goes, well, Science Sisters need to do this, and there's a whole protocol to this, and I can't claim you as queen because I claimed him in front of everyone, so can't do it. And she's like, but we can know, right? He's like, no, you can't.
Is this all just religion-based?
Yeah,
Because
religion.
normally, like, when Rob Baratheon came in and, like, is it because there was a dead king? Like, he came in...
we need to see a dead king.
Okay, cool.
We need to be confirmed that he is dead because I have now anointed him as the rightful leader. So if he's still alive, he's still under the eyes of the gods.
Yeah.
The gods of the Seven, which the joke in this series are they're the only gods that don't seem to exist. Like every god exists except the gods of the seven.
Right.
Stranger is probably the red god or like the faceless
Right, there's
god.
like an old god.
Yeah, like
that's fun.
That's fun, yeah. And so I like that scene a lot. Thought the actor brought a bit to it, and I did think like she was there. He goes, "Hey, don't underestimate the faith. If you fuck us up, the people will fall." Blah 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 blah. And I thought her head canon was like, Jesus, Maegor probably had a fucking point with you dickheads, because Maegor spent most of his time wiping those fuckers out.
Maegor the Cruel.
Maegor the Cruel. Like even though he was cruel, he was important in terms of like. He like destroyed the Faith Militant, which then Cersei refunded hundreds of years later.
Right. Okay. Well, the score also was giving me some Homelander
The Tonight
like
stuff.
yeah, like the score was the most prevalent it's probably ever been in House of the Dragon. Because we're in her head for most of it, it's freaking out. It's not doing the full Homelander violin, but pretty much most of the time, whenever something bad would happen, you'd get it punctuated.
Basically, nothing's going her way. I think she expected was that we have spent now time where she believes, since she saw the white stag, she's going to sit on that throne and the sun's going to come out and everyone's going to applaud.
Yep.
But actually, it's really difficult. I think that's really cool. And I think the episode mostly did a really good job at doing that. But like the episode by itself, the problem is how we got here.
Yes.
If that was better, this episode would have been really good.
Great episode 1.
It would have been fantastic if we had spent the last season of her. I don't know how you would set it up, because I understand in the book she spends most of her time crying in bed. But I think we could have had a happy medium where now that she's finally got control and then it's not going great is interesting. And
Yeah.
I hope they can go further with this, because she kind of has to start doing some wrongs, if you will. And
Yep.
I would argue she has officially done some stuff that's wrong here. And so Corlys sits her down for a private meeting and he's like, hey, you know how like I've sacrificed everything for you? Like my wife, you basically, killed my son, sort of. My daughter's dead. Now everything's gone. My fleet's fucked and I've lost all my money. It'd be really sweet if you could just allow me to legitimize my 2 lads. One of them is a dragon rider who's very loyal to you.
They're not Targaryens.
They're not Targaryens, just
Velaryon.
make them Valyrians, then my
Come on.
house can continue.
Sorry, I do have to bring up the Rhaenyra doesn't see colour.
I must confess to you now a thing you may have guessed before. Alyn of Hull and his brother Addam are my sons.
I did not guess.
These 2 boys that look exactly like me.
I hadn't suspected it at all.
I thought it was funny.
And it's funny because in the book, they're like 16, 18. They're like more Jace's age. So Corlys tries to say that they're bastards of his son, her first husband,
Oh, okay.
Laenor. And everyone's like, he's gay and would have had to have been awfully young. And it's
Yeah.
always there. It was probably, but he didn't want the wife to know.
Yeah.
So
I don't mind it in this because like that way they're older, so he can stay truer to Rhaenys.
Yeah. I'm fine
because
with
that
this
way that
change.
all works. It also makes them older, and like we had enough young boys.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
If we were doing the crown generational thing,
Sure.
heck yeah, make them young. Then when they age up,
Yeah,
boom,
cool.
we're on there now.
Corlys, after he had that talk, she didn't directly deny it. She just said, that's nice, you want to legitimize them. Oh, this tastes nice. And then continued on. But then when she knights them and Ulf goes, is that it?
That was good.
That was great. Corlys goes, hey, just heard a rumour that you didn't call him Addam Velaryon. I just thought maybe you misspoke or something. And she's like, yeah, no, I can't do it because, people are going to think my lads are bastards. And he goes, well, they were
They are.
bastards. They were major bastards. They all lived as bastards and died as bastards.
I loved them.
You bitch.
Still bastards.
Yeah, I allowed it, but bastards. So I've done you that for grace.
Yeah.
Because, and the idea that Rhaenyra is still sort of trying to go, no, they weren't. I like that.
Yeah.
Like, she's still trying to push that lie. But I thought it was a great scene. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people who are annoyed and like, oh, fuck Corlys, how dare you?
I mean, he was also out of line, in fairness, because that's his queen. Like, she gets to make that decision. But then Hottie Mick Goldcloak.
Because she doesn't have King Queen's Guard yet. She has said Daemon should organise that since obviously he knows his warriors.
Yeah. But when Corlys is yelling at her, hey, whoa, watch it, Corlys.
I won't be surprised
Because-
if she starts snogging him.
I was about to say, she's definitely, he's too hot for them to not fuck. If you want them to fuck, you hire someone that's hot
Yeah, she's going to start
and
shagging him.
dark hair, because that's her thing.
Yep, Harrenstrong was in the
He also
Goldcloaks.
was, yeah. So she loves that whole, like, I'm more powerful than you. Yeah. Naughty, naughty.
Guaranteed. And she gets more brown-haired.
Daemon being like, wait a minute.
Because in my opinion, Rhaenyra is wrong to do this.
Oh, she should have done this.
on the subreddit Hot D Blacks, and there's Hot D Greens.
Hot D Greens are unhinged.
Yeah,
I'm
and the
with you,
Blacks are
boys.
pretty wild too.
I haven't shown the dragon yet. I'm showing the dragon.
They will insist that those boys are Velaryons, that they died in the ocean like Velaryons, that Laenor accepted them, Corlys accepted them, they were basically adopted, and da-da-da-da-da. No, they're bastards.
Yeah.
They're noble bastards, sure, like they are strong
Like she
boys.
said, that's good.
Yeah, she seems to throw that in, that they're not of noble birth. Like, my lads were noble all the same. And it's like, just with all the stresses going on, I don't need people. It's like, who would really give a shit? I think
Who would
Corlys
know?
says that. Corlys literally says that. Who gives a shit?
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah,
don't
just
get them up in front of
legitimise
the thing and be like, bastards, love them. Big fan of
Yeah.
bastards, me.
Yeah.
No.
Just say, literally in that moment, just said, and Addam Velaryon and his brother Alyn. Nice one, boys. And everyone would have went, okay.
You can go rebuild Thingo in your
Yeah.
spare time.
Yeah, because now in this world, Alan's the eldest. In the book, Addam was the eldest. But now since
That's right.
Alan's
Weird
the
switch. I've never understood it, but whatever.
Alan's the eldest. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go rebuild High Tide. Well done, you. And once we get the coffers sorted, I'll be reimbursing you
Yep.
of all the damages.
It's gonna be great.
So I felt that her doing that is a shit thing. I'm sure there's going to be people who are like, no.
I think it's in character enough.
It's in character. I agree. It's in character.
I think that's one of those great, like, they're both the right and wrong choice. Like,
Yeah.
and she went with this one because it makes sense to her. It just happens that that's going to piss someone off later down the road. Like, Corlys will remember this.
Oh, yeah. And I did like how later on when Ulf goes, Ulf Targaryen, she goes, oh, Jesus, no, of course not. Like, that was a very great kind
It was
of
very the
moment.
great
Yeah,
because
yeah.
she's like, oh, heavens no.
Yeah, Jesus, God. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. That's fine.
Targaryen, Your Grace.
Oh, absolutely not.
So he goes with Ulf White, which I find hilarious.
Because we've been calling him Ulf White the whole time. I kind of didn't realize. But then, yeah, Hugh the Hammer, Addam of Hull. Hugh the Hammer takes it the best because that's just, he doesn't really care. I guess he just wants the best for his
Although
family.
we did have a follow-up scene where he's like, when am I getting this house?
Yeah, everyone's starting to get a little annoyed with Rhaenyra. And again, I feel like you could have maybe, again, this is an outside perspective, but you kill one of the nobles that you don't like because none of them stood up for her back in the day.
Yeah.
You take all their money, you give it to one of your new knights, and
Yeah.
you say, I'll keep doing this unless you're good people. That way you keep all your nobles.
Yeah.
Because old-timey fantasy realms do need rich people.
Yeah, politically, I thought it was a bit of a daft old move because you're annoying the people who have the armies that are meant to be aiding.
It's a hard one.
I know you've got to
because-
keep the balance. I
But we do
understand.
have modern day politics
Yeah.
that obviously these writers are alluding to. In the behind the scenes, Ryan Condal makes the mistake in my eyes of calling Aegon the old administration, which is very much like a modern political term.
I did find it funny just how long it takes to get all the bunting and panners down. Like, it's
The
like
full day, yeah.
it's like how long does this how many? I mean, I got the sense this was happening. This episode was across a long week.
I figured a couple of days.
Oh yeah, she says,
but-
"Oh, Daeron's been here for 2 days." Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
like it's been a long weekend.
Yeah, I guess Alicent also had 10 years or whatever to put up bunting, because as soon as Rhaenyra came back from her little, like, stay at Dragonstone after Daddy died, there was green everywhere.
I initially was annoyed because the rats were there, and he goes, "Oh, Aegon hung the Ratcatchers." In the book, Otto then just does the cats that then are there in Game of Thrones when Arya's chasing them.
Yeah, for Queenslanders, where we live, that's like a cane toads and the cane...
Beetle.
I did overall ended up liking that we still had the rats there because it was just Rhaenyra's like she had this version of sitting on that throne and everything being great, and now there's fucking rats crawling up
Yeah.
there. I thought that was really
as a
good in the
direct
end.
result of hanging the Ratcatchers as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, it's not just like, oh, the world hates you, like it's magical. It's like, no.
because your side killed like technically her
Yes,
side.
yeah, so
it
I
is-
guess, yeah, true. Also her actions.
So I did like it. I kind of wanted it to be that a rat bit her and that was the bleeding. But
Fun.
whatever.
They do actually go back to that as well with the fact that all the people of King's Landing are starving because she did a blockade to starve them
I'm
out.
glad they did that.
Yeah, so again, it's sowers when they have to reap, and it's just like, oh.
And then she's like, "Oh, the kings would, but you can't hunt like the deer or the good stuff, but you do rabbits and
I
stuff."
don't know if I like that because that shows to me that she is very dumb occasionally, like that she's just like, we could use the Kingswood. Is it because it heavily mirrored Aegon being really bad, where he's like, oh, we can do this, and then Otto was like, we can't actually do that.
Yeah.
Corlys in this was like, no, we can't actually do that. Like that would piss people
She's
off.
trying to run like the war's over, let's begin. And it isn't, because obviously the fake Daeron stuff is off book. At this point in the book, the Hightowers are still making their way up. She's got the city, but the Hightowers are coming up and they have to deal with it. And obviously Aemon is causing all sorts of shit in the Riverlands.
I think it just played too optimistically dumb.
Yeah.
Like, if she said the Kingswood and then she realized herself, I'd be more okay with it.
Right.
But having Corlys have to do something. But Corlys gets really mad at her later when he's spitting bars.
I loved it.
That was great. Let that man act. That was good.
Well, speaking of acting, obviously everyone's great. We get a council scene, but then the White Worm opens her mouth, and she has rechanged her accent.
Yeah, it's different
She
again.
had the wild, out there Rasta kind of accent. Then she just went Englishy and now it feels like we're in this morph halfway between.
I wonder if they shot her scenes with Daemon 3 years ago when they filmed season 2 and they just got put into that Battle of the Gullet stuff.
Oh, right.
And this is the first time she's done that accent in a few months. I don't know, but it was so different.
It's wild that every season she's giving it another swing, that one.
It's probably not her fault because, again, the director is letting this happen. After season 1, did they hear feedback of like, I fucking hate when she
I think
talks?
everyone, maybe even I felt it was all ADR'd as well, she was.
Oh.
I felt it was like they went back in and did her, but for some reason, I hate it.
Yeah.
And I think it hampers her performance. I think it's an active part of her performance that she's trying to do. Just be posh English. It wouldn't matter. It would make sense for you to be doing it.
Because you've tried to fit in your whole life.
No one would question it.
Anyway.
Send for Joffrey, who's in the Vale still.
Yes, so not in Pentos.
No, the blonde boys are.
Oh, that's a different kid.
The Daemon kids, Aegon and Viserys.
They have too many fucking kids.
Those plot important. You don't get Daenerys without these two lads
Okay.
that you keep mentioning, Ryan. I don't think they care about whatever happens event-wise after House of the Dragon. I think they're only focusing on the current story they're telling.
Okay.
And I know they know the average person will not care exactly how this lineage works.
Okay, so they need the youngest strong boy, and she wants him back over.
She wants the young strong boy because she sees him as her next eldest kid.
Yeah.
I'm sure Daemon secretly would harbour the idea, but whatever.
But that one's in the Vale, which is sending Daemon to the Vale, where he may or may not find a sheep-stealing dragon and his daughter, which I assume will conflict him somewhat.
Yes.
Because he loves dragons, he loves his lineage. I won't say he loves his daughters, but he loves his lineage.
Well, he'll love the idea that now his daughter's got a dragon, because back in season 1, he doesn't love me because I don't have a dragon.
That was her one thing.
That was her one thing. I'm hoping she's going to be more ferally, so they're trying to do a sort of Nettles combo. Like,
and Rhaenyra wants Sheepstealer and Ryder dead because they killed her baby. Hopefully this gives Daemon some conflicting things to do, because currently he's just very warmongering. I don't want to view him as warmongering, though, because I don't believe Daemon just wants war. I believe Daemon wants something to do.
I wouldn't be surprised, this is my out there, is that Daemon figures out it's his daughter, and since no one knows what she looks like amongst the Riverlords, he goes, oh, this is Nettie. Nettles.
Okay.
And then she's going to be this, like, ragtag girl with a dragon.
Rhaenyra will know, though, if she ever sees her. If that does happen, this was never their plan.
No.
This is reactionary.
Yeah.
But it will appease book fans and make no sense to me as
then
not a
the
book
history
fan.
book can go Rhaena and Nettles. And
yeah, who may or may not be this person. They were friends for some reason.
Who cares at this point?
So if they decided suddenly they want to appease book fans, or they feel like they need to steal a little bit more book stuff, then yes, I can see that happening.
Stressing, struggling. She has that thing with Hugh Hammer where she's like, look, I just got to get my foot in. Everything's going wrong pretty quickly. We'll sort it out. Don't worry.
Go grab your wife. Oh, she's in Tumbleton.
So she ends up going to Alicent and has that scene. You ran basically an all but name, which is stupid, but whatever. She goes, I did, yeah. And then she starts going, well, you know, I'm struggling. What do you know? She goes, well, sometimes you have to make hard decisions that will piss people off. Like, that is just what this is. You can't have everyone be happy. You can't have everyone going, yes, the queen has spoken.
I don't love the way she said it.
No.
Because she frames it as you have to lose yourself or lose who you are to become a good
You
king.
have to be the crown or whatever.
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, no. But because they've raised Rhaenyra up as this epitome of good and Rhaenyra can do no wrong, she will have to do mean things to people.
Yeah.
To that I say Rhaenyra's done nothing to anyone because she's done nothing for 2 seasons.
Yep.
But the idea of, you're going to have to make tough decisions. Someone had to tell her that. But you would also think as ruler of Dragonstone and someone that has thought they were going to be queen for the last 15 years, she might have at some point realized, I got to do naughty things to people. Whereas Aegon could play dumb because Aegon was fucking dumb. Aegon didn't realize that being king would actually be like that at all.
So she has the dinner with the people. We're taking your food and stuff, and, it's on you that they're suffering. And she goes and she sees Manderly.
He basically says, bloody good job.
Yeah.
Like, that was hilarious. And she's like, I'm robbing you as well. And he's like, honestly, I deserve it a bit, but like, whatever. Basically, he said game recognized game.
Yeah, because the Manderlys are the richest house in the north.
So is he going to become Master of Coin? She needs a Master of Coin. We point out that this guy is rich. He's a known actor. And I like him. He got one scene and I liked him.
Well, you'd love it too. He was a part of the unseen Jace adventures. Jace went to White Harbour and treated with the Lord Manderly. I'm telling you, there's a whole spin-off there of Jace's adventures in the north. They're a very rich house. They originally came from the Reach, but they fled the Reach due to some ancient argument, and now they are Northerners, but they are like the poshest Northerners who recognise knights and all that, and are the richest house. So I think they're the only house that provides ships because some ancient Stark king destroyed all the ships because of the narrative of Game of Thrones. But so that's good. Like, it's good that he's there. I'm looking forward to it. And it's a good example of introducing a character who stands out.
You need one good scene. That is literally all it takes. And there's so many people in this show that I don't know any fucking thing about, and I don't know what they want all. Yeah. But this guy, I get him. It's good.
Great.
You still have to kill Daeron.
She doesn't want to kill Daeron because he's her brother and he's only ever done something in acting of the rights of the household. Like, he's the youngest brother doing as his house requires him.
And as Alicent points out, he got sent away as a baby, so he hasn't been around the politics.
And he's like, if you ignore Aemond, like fourth in line to the throne, technically. Like, it's her three sons and then him, ignoring Aemond, which she probably does. Probably would be good to just keep your lad around, you never know. And also he's a dragon rider, get him on side. But she's going to send him to the wall, which I guess in this world they just allow people to abandon their dragons, but whatever. So send him to the wall and it's going to be fine. But, we're going to let Alicent say goodbye to. The whole time he's been super quiet. It's a bit dumb that she goes, he's younger than I expected. I'm like, go check the books. There is a maester who's written down the birth year.
That's also true. But, like, people are small for their age.
Yeah.
But it was a line specifically meant to, like, it's Chekhov's age reference. Yeah. Which, again, if Ormund was smart, he would have got someone the same age. But it doesn't really matter. It was literally just to put that thought in our mind so that when it's revealed later, we're not like, whoa, this is crazy.
I do wish, even though we've been locked on Rey, I was kind of hoping for, like, where is Daeron? And then you cut to the real Daeron.
Right. I mean, you could have done that as a very ending thing, but
since they didn't set him up, I mean, if you don't know who Daeron is, you have missed him because he was just the background person in episode 1. If I hadn't put him out to you, you wouldn't know.
I don't think most people even realize that he's Rhaenyra's little brother.
It is bad that you're in season 3 and now you're introducing another son of Alicent's.
When she addresses him, she makes sure to go, I'm your half sister, the Queen.
Yes.
And so it's like, oh, yeah, thank you.
Because they've never met ever.
Yeah.
Okay. She would have been in the keep when he was born, but
hey, I mean, she was in the carriage with Aegon, and that's the only scene they've ever had together.
Yeah, and then she had a scene with Helaena finally, a bit of dialogue with her sister.
True.
I think overall it was a really good choice to have this be the focus on Rhaenyra. She probably got equal screen time in this one episode than all of season 2.
For sure. I think they did some fun stuff with camera work because they're doing the whole she is torn between wanting to be good and wanting to be Maegor the Cruel. She's in the carriage with the White Worm. The White Worm is pretty evenly lit. You can see both sides, but when you cut to Rhaenyra, she's pretty much pitch black from one side of her face.
The hollowed eye stuff. As ever, the technical stuff of this show is brilliant. Gorgeous. When they're out on the balcony with Daemon, they go to the effort of like having the guys with the torches towards the left in the background. Just gives that great bit. It's this scene right now.
Yeah.
It just gives it a great bit of depth.
Gives it scale.
I think that's wonderful. And yeah, like little scenes of her wandering around alone. Was it meant to be that her and Daemon are sleeping in separate beds? But I did like that she got in bed with him and had that quiet comfort moment with her uncle.
Because doesn't want to sleep in her dad's bed because
I did
as
like
she
that.
specifies the ghost. Yeah, good little moments.
It did a world of good for this character, but then also you feel like they're playing catch up a bit because they haven't done enough with her. And I know because the core book didn't have much for her during that timeline, but you're writers, you're getting paid, make it work.
Yeah, but it does bode well for the future. It means they probably know that we don't know who Rhaenyra is. So now we've actually sat with her.
Yeah, I like it.
Overall, definitely best episode in quite a while. Probably since like mid-season 2.
Honestly, yeah.
If you're excluding like battle scale and like, this looks cool.
Yeah, like we like those earlier episodes. I think just seeing the character be a character and not just this like spouting of like plot points or facts, like to actually see her trying to make it work, that now she's just wearing her riding gear. She's trying to look like a man, I guess.
Well, no, she's trying to look like Daenerys Targaryen, first of her name.
But Daemon has that scene, we're gods. We now act like gods. Like, because now he's taking, I like the idea that he's taking the prophecy now and not going, oh, I swear to you, he's taking it. It's like, oh, we are that important, actually.
Yeah.
It's actually, I like that add on to him, that it's made him, he already was a big Targaryen fan of himself anyway, but now it really has made him be like, oh, we're meant to be in charge. We've got 6 big dragons. We're meant to be in charge.
We will conquer the world. He's also a little bit devil on her shoulder. They're playing that angle.
Yeah, and then now obviously she's been told by the Dragonwires that Tumbleton's been attacked by Daeron, and we can't go in because of all the debate because you're going to fuck up your own people. And as you pointed out,
I wish it wasn't spelt out. I wish the random dragon keeper wasn't like, if you burn them, you have to kill women and children.
he's a dragon keeper. Surely his concern is the dragons, but whatever. As we've set up, Hugh the Hammer's wife's there.
Yeah.
So, there's a bit of a debate there with old Hugh.
Yeah, that's a surefire way to turn him against him in one flick of a switch. His wife dies, he kills Rhaenyra. Next week is midway, so we've got 5 episodes left. So I think they've set up enough stuff and it's good and it's interesting because it's not just we're going to go have a big battle.
Yeah.
It's we actually have the political turmoil of women and children will die. We have characters attached to that. Honestly, I thought it was a little lame that last episode they reminded us that Hugh the Hammer's wife existed, but now it's actually got a payoff for me. So now I'm like, okay, I didn't really care when Aemond lit up Harrenhal because I didn't really know anyone there. Even when like they killed Simon Strong, that was sad, but he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't controlling or helping in any way. He was just a cool guy. But now we actually have Hugh the Hammer's wife in there that she's basically a time bomb. So like she will change everything.
Yes, it's keen to see more of seeing James Norton and Daemon, Matt Smith acting because James Norton's a great actor. I'm keen to see more of him.
And he's now pissed them off royally.
And it's a great example of giving a character who doesn't have much on the book, both the writing and just the actor have brought something in this character that makes him stick out. Even though he's just an opposing force figure, he sticks out in 2 scenes.
Yeah.
I'm also keen to finally see Daeron because he's going to be an important character.
Yes, from now on, they need to show Daeron, I think.
They need to.
They need to be
It'd
like...
be weird.
Like, first shot of next episode needs to be like, this is the real one.
Yeah.
This is what he is as a character. This is why you should care.
Yeah.
Like, they need to give him one good scene and then I'll be happy.
Yes, big time. And particularly if he's going to be going up against, we have to imagine, Hugh the Hammer and Ulf White. A good episode, and yeah, for the first time in a while, I'm actually kind of keen to see where we're going because you haven't forced me to see 30 seconds of Aemond waking up and going, where am I? So I'm hoping to see, I mean, I know next episode will probably go back to formula.
Back to formula.
But I'm hoping we don't. I'm hoping we focus on the Tumbleton situation and then maybe we cut to some Aemond stuff.
If we're taking the shills for their word, then they did enjoy the first 4 episodes they got. So maybe this one actually does culminate quite interestingly.
It has to be Rhaenyra's descent, and I think that's what we said. I think you can't deny it. I think in this episode she's pissed off her loyalist ally, which is a dumb move.
Yeah.
Like, and so I'm keen to see the fallout of this. I think stuff she's done now will mess it up. When it's revealed that Daeron isn't Daeron, we went, how good would this have been if Alicent was what she was in the book, that this was part of it? That Alicent was like, yeah, I know that's not my fucking son, but I know my son's coming. And so we know then that Alicent's got something in the back pocket still. But since this is Team Ray Forever Alicent, it's just nothing.
Yeah, Alicent has nothing technically to do. She will literally...
She's just waiting.
She will be... Rhaenyra comes... Alicent replies, Rhaenyra goes off and does more stuff.
Where if she was still an opposing force trying to work her way around the castle a little bit.
Yeah, we would have a rat in the castle.
Or she was doing the worm tongue thing of feeding Ray false advice. But no.
But no, they actually are besties.
Yeah, but they're actually besties. And then same with the White Worm, who's just trying to do her best. And, like the White Worm doesn't seem to want to do anything but fight for the small folk.
Yeah, no, she's keen on, she wants to be besties with Rhaenyra and she wants the small folk to win, which is kind of her whole thing. But
I'm glad that we've just accepted that Rhaenyra's the main character and she needs some main character work, and she finally got it this episode. So well done.
True.
The only things I didn't like is that, yeah, it would have been a stronger episode if the stuff before it was better set up, but we're here now. Could be worse.
That's our whole thing. But what did you think? Did you like it? Did you wish that it bounced around more, or did season 2 hurt this episode? Let us know down below.